So again, this is just part 2 to the stuff we've already been working on. Everybody should be here ready to get started on this. So today we're going to be talking about investments. So these investments are going to be based on somebody taking $14,000. Goody for them if they have that to put in there. They're going to be investing part at 5% and the rest at 8%. But before we even read the rest of the problem, guys, what is 5% as a decimal? Point what? 0.05. And what is 8% as a decimal? 0.08. Okay? Just so we know this, what would 15% be as a decimal? 0.15. We're good on the converting a decimal. The rest of it says his total annual income from these investments was $1,000. Find the amount he invested at each rate. So there's your variables, guys. Again, if you do not define your variables on your homework, you're going to have 16 points that you lose on your next test because it's 2 per problem. So X is going to be the money invested at what? Go in the order the problem gives them to you in. At 5%. There you go. 5% was first, guys. So we say the money invested at 5%. Good. So for the second variable, the second thing we're looking for is the money invested at what? 8%. Okay, just on defining the variables. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, just like Friday, where you're just talking about the total amount, your first equation is just going to be combining these two and setting it equal to this. So what's the first equation going to look like? X plus y equals what? 14,000. That's the amount. That's the amount of money that's in total. You're taking X amount of dollars and Y amount of dollars, and total it's going to be $14,000. Now when we talk about percentages and how much they earn on it, which guys, y'all know the interest rates right now are nothing like 5 and 8. You never earn that kind of money. In an account you'd earn like 1 point something right now. It's low, 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 low. Okay. So if you're going to multiply this times that percentage, it's going to now be a decimal. And how would you write that in front of the X? 0.05 and the X. Plus for the Y, it's going to be this one, so it's going to be 0.08 and the Y. And how much were his investments? What did he earn on that? $1,000. Okay, draw a line. What are we always going to multiply by when we're trying to get rid of decimals and there's 2 numbers behind the decimal? 100. That part's easy. So that's going to multiply by 100. When I multiply that by 100, guys, you don't need a calculator. You can use your pencil to just move the decimal. 1, 2. It moves 2 places to the right. That's going to make that 5x. Work smarter, not harder, guys. Come on. 1, 2 makes this 8y. And guys, if you move it 2 places on the end of this, it's going to add 2 zeros on the end. And it's going to become 100,000. If I want to cancel out the 5x or the 8x, what am I going to multiply the first equation by? You can do -5. What's the other number you could do? -8. -5 is easy. So -5x minus 5y. Grab your calculators, guys. Do 5 negative times 14,000 equals. 5 negative times 14,000 equals. 70,000, like that. Okay, I just want to make sure I said it right. I'm like worded it correctly. Okay, so that's going to cancel out which variable? The x. The y's go together. They give you 3y. Ooh, what is -70,000 plus 100,000? 30,000. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and y equals 10,000. Now, because this is money and I don't want to forget to put my dollar sign on this when I write it in my sentence, because that would be points off, I'm going to write it as $10,000 when I put it up here next to my y, so that I don't mess up and forget. Then I'm going to plug that 10,000 back into the first equation, because guys, there's no decimals, it's easy, but I'm going to show the work so I don't lose an extra point on every problem. So it's going to be x plus 10,000 equals 14,000. Minus 10, C is so loud. Minus 10,000 minus 10,000, and x equals 4,000. Now that 4,000 is 4,000 what? Dollars. So when I write it up here, I'm going to put $4,000. Because what's my last step? Every single time, my last step is to do what? Good. So I'm going to say that Mr. Smith invested $4,000 at 5%, and he invested $4,000 at 5% and $10,000 at 8%. Now, guys, this is not about the math. This is about real life. Do you understand why you would invest at different percentages, like why you would get different percentages? One might be more risky. If it's more risky, you get paid more interest. If it's less risky, you might get paid less. Okay? So if you have the risk of losing your money, then you might get a higher reward because of that. You'll see that in the stock market and other places. But if you put it in something like a money market account, you're earning less, but you're keeping your money. So that's just like real life. That's not necessarily about something you have to know about for this. Okay. Anybody still writing? Okay, take it back. Just let me know. Y'all know I'll wait on you. I just gotta know. So this is this next problem is going to be the first one that we're not going to solve by substitution. By elimination. It lends itself to do substitution. So be aware that on your homework tonight, there's going to be a few that they're going to be better solved by substitution than elimination, and you have to decide what to solve them by. We'll show. It's very obvious why this one next one's not going to be elimination. You'll see. We ready to go? Okay. We all good? Okay, here we go. For this next one, we're talking still about investments. It says Christy invested, nice to have $62,000. Christy invested $62,500, part at 6%, the rest at 4%. Guys, what's 6% as a decimal? 0.06. What's 4% as a decimal? 0.04. Okay. It says if the annual income of both of investments were equal, it doesn't give us an amount, guys, it just tells us they're equal, find the amount invested at each rate. That's going to be a different type of problem. So here we go. X equals Y equals. Guys, at this point, y'all should be able to tell me what the X and the Y are. What are they looking for? What's X? The amount what?
Invested at 6%.
Yep. It's going to be the money or the amount, doesn't matter. Invested at 6%. And go in the order that it gives it to you in, because that way when you check it on the key, it will match the key. The second one is going to be the money invested at, yep. Okay. Just like Friday, when you talk about it, the first equation is going to be about getting to that total. So that total equation is going to be what plus what? X plus y. It's the same every time, guys. X plus y and that's equal to 62,500. 62,500. The second equation is where you have to think a little bit. It says the annual income for both investments is equal. So if we do the investment for the first one, 6% we said was 0.06 times that first amount, which is X. We don't know what it is, but it's X. And that's supposed to be equal to, so we're going to put an equal sign, the amount invested at 4%, so we would write it as what on this side? There you go, 0.04y. Nicely done. That's it. There's your second equation. Do you see why this one doesn't work on elimination? Okay. Now for this next part, do not write anything. Listen to me. Do not write this next part down yet. Grab your calculators. Question before I go?
So the key word was the equal?
Because they don't give us an amount. When you know there's no amount, then you're going to do that. Okay? Grab your calculators, guys. Don't write this. Do not write this. Okay, guys, if I start this problem off and I go divide by 0.6, divide by 0.6, 0.06, excuse me. Okay, this would cancel out, and I would get x equals, try dividing this, 0.04 divided by 0.06. Try dividing that. Don't write, I keep saying this, don't write this down. I'm telling you, don't write it down. It's not going to be correct. Do you see that when you do it on the calculator this way, you're going to get an ugly, it's like 1.666 repeating or something?
I got 0.6.
Yeah. 0.6 is the same thing as 0.666.
Oh, I thought you said 1.
Oh no, I apologize. If I did, I might have. Guys, because of that, because it repeats like that, don't make your life hard. If it's like that and you get an ugly number like that, you would have to round to get the answer. Go back and instead of dividing by both sides by 0.06, divide both sides by 0.04 and just go the other way. Cancel that one out. Let's see if that one works. What's 0.06 divided by 0.04? 1.5 x. Guys, that is a drastically easier problem to work with than having those nasty decimals that don't divide evenly, and we'd have to do all kind of crazy things to get rid of our decimals and do it. Don't do it. It'd be a fraction, it'd be nasty. Don't do it. If you get something like that, try dividing it the other way. Now, every once in a while, there's no way to avoid it. And when we get there, we'll get there. But everything we're going to do right now is going to work out where this works, if you just switch it. Okay, this problem needs to be solved by substitution. To solve this problem by substitution, you're going to have to plug this back in to the y in this problem. So it's going to be x plus, guys, instead of writing y, what am I going to put in there? 1.5x. See how much better y'all would do on substitution if you did the retest? 62,500. Oh, what is x plus 1.5x? 2.5x. Nicely done. No hesitation. Equals 62,500. We're going to divide both sides by 2.5. Sorry, I'm waiting on my thing. It's kind of in delay mode. And x equals what? 25,000. So $25,000 is going to go over here on the x. Put it as money. $25,000. Yeah. It's very hard to save that much money to invest. There's things come up, guys. Life comes up a lot of times. It's challenging. What do I do with that amount?
Put it in the box.
Plug it back in the box. The whole point is to plug it back in the box when you do substitution, guys. 1.5 times 25,000 equals y. What's 1.5 times 25,000?
37,500.
37,500 equals y. Could you plug it back in the first one? Yes. But the box makes it easy. It's always the box when you use substitution. So it's going to be 37,500 invested down here at the 4%. Now, the last thing you're going to do on every single word problem is write a word answer. So the word answer is going to be that Christy invested $25,000 at 6% and wasn't it 37,500? Yeah, I just didn't write the 5 up there. Make sure I get it. $37,500 at 4%. Questions, concerns, anything about that? Alright, now for the second types of problems, because remember the first two are connected, the second two are going to be connected. For this next type of problem, these are going to be very math based, like math problem based. Not like real life problem based. This is really like on an EOC. They love to write problems like this because they're very algebra based. It's about turning the words into the equations and solving them. These tend to be better problems. These tend to be very direct, so people do well on them. Let's see how it goes for y'all. Anybody still writing on this one? We good? Yep. Okay. Here we go. Again, the next one, very much an algebra-based problem. So, the sum of two numbers is 90. Their difference is 26. Find the two numbers. Pretty direct. So, the problem is people have trouble defining what the variables are. What's x going to be equal to? These are your unknowns, guys. What are we going to call it? The first numbered product. We need to be able to keep them in order. So, first number. And y would be the second number. There you go. We do have to be able to, a number is correct, but you got to be able to distinguish between the two, so first and second. Okay? What does the word sum mean? Addition. What does the word difference mean? Subtraction. So we're basically just adding and subtracting them. So it's going to be x plus y is going to be equal to what? 90. Then we're going to be subtracting them. X minus y is going to be equal to what? 26. Okay, now, this one tends to be easy, but it tends to be missed quite often on the test because of this one little thing. Guys, the y's cancel out. When you combine these two, what's the answer? 2x. It's not x, it's 2x. Equals 116. Divide by 2, and x is going to equal 58. 58. 58 is going to be our first number. Put it up here. To find the second number, you plug it back. Guys, now which equation would you plug it back into? The first one, the one without subtraction. It would be 58 plus y equals 90. 58 plus y equals 90. Minus 58, minus 58, and y equals, what is it? 32. Put that up here. my sentence would be the first number is 58 and the second number is 32. The first number is 58 and the second number is 52. 32, excuse me, 32. I looked away. Does anybody have any questions? That one's pretty direct. Usually most people do very well on that. The only thing that people miss is the x plus x, the old stuff. X plus x is 2x. 2x. Is there anything specific on that one you need to ask about? Anything specific you need to ask about? Right. The next one is the same exact concept. It just has fancier equations, and because they're fancier equations and the way they're written, this one lends itself much more to be solved by substitution on the next one than elimination like this one. So let's show you what it looks like. Okay, we're still dealing with one number and a second number, first and a second number. So x is going to be equal to the first number, and y is going to be equal to the second number. Again, guys, I keep trying to make it clear, but let's make sure you hear me. If you do not define your variables on your test, that would be 16 points. That's 25% of your test you just throw away. You cannot afford that. That should be the 16, like, 16 those points should be the gimme points. Define your variables. Alright, step 2, write the equations. So we got to read these and see what these equations say. It says one number is 2 more than. Guys, what is 2 more than? Put the 2, where does it put it? At the end, it's going to have plus 2. And then it's going to be 4 times the second number. 2 more than 4 times the second number. So what do we do for one number is? What's the one number? What's the first number?
X.
X. Is. What does is usually represent? Equals. 2 more than means you're going to be adding, but that 2 has got to be at the end. So plus 2. And then it's going to be 4 times the second number. How do we write 4 times the second number? 4y. Look, I can put my box around that right now. I've already got x equals. I know I'm going to put a box around that and solve it. The second equation has more to it, guys. You've got to make sure you write it correctly. It says, if 5 more than, guys, that means we're going to be adding 5, but we're going to be adding it after something. So what's it going to be after? It's going to be after that plus 5 is going to be after 3 times the first number. How do we get 3 times the first number? Ooh, guys, look, what's the first number? X. So 3 times the first number is going to be what? 3x. Then the plus 5 is decreased by, what does decrease by do to the problem? Subtract it, so minus, and we're subtracting twice the second number. 2y, perfect. And then, guys, when it says the result is, that just means what? Equals, and it's equal to 81. Now, because I already have my substitution set up and I'm going to be plugging in for the x in the other problem, I'm going to replace that x right here with what is in this box. It's substitution. That's what I'm doing, is substituting in that other variable. So if I'm going to substitute into that other equation, it's going to be 3 and then a parentheses. And then everything inside that box is going to go inside my parentheses. So inside there, it's going to say 4y plus 2. And then, guys, I got to write the rest of the equation. So I still have to write the plus 5, the minus 2y, and the equals 81. I've still got to write the rest of the equation just like it was. Isaiah, join us, please. Come on. Come on. So to solve this, you're going to distribute this 3 across. That's going to make it 12y plus 6 plus 5 minus 2y equals 81. Guys, what's the next step? These two need to go together. These two need to go together. What is 12y minus 2y? 10y. What is 6 plus 5? 11 equals 81. Combine like terms. Then we're going to solve this. Minus 11 minus 11. 10y equals 70. Divide by 10, and y equals 7. There's my first number. Where am I going to plug my 7 back into? The box. It's already set up. There's the box right there. X equals 4 times 7 plus 2. X equals 4 times 7 will put you at 28 plus 2, which means X is going to equal 30. Perfect. 30. Again, even though you've got the answers, if you don't write the last thing, you get 2 points off every problem. The last thing is to write the answer, which is, the first number is 30, and the second number is 7. The first number is 30, the second number is 7. Okay guys, when you are done, please put this in your notes section. When you are done writing